Hello, welcome to another episode of the Sal Licata Show podcast, available on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Moving right along here with another episode. What are we at, 36, something like that? I don't know. I lost count. I felt like I lost count after 15 or so, but Badabooms keeps count. Either way, what's the difference? Here's a new one for you, and we hope you enjoy it. And as we get closer to opening day, as we get closer to March Madness, NFL free agency next week, the World Baseball Classic is underway. We're still not in the spot where Knicks postseason. We're still not reacting to games necessarily. I'm not into the World Baseball Classic just yet. Probably next week when we do some episodes on Monday, maybe we'll react to Team USA or whatever happens there. We've had some fun with that. But, I'm just thinking bigger picture going into the baseball season. And one thing, it actually came up on SNY yesterday, and I thought, on the show Baseball Night in New York that I host, if you're not familiar with it, check it out. We have a great time, fun show. But it was a topic that our producer James Ward thought about, that's producing Badabooms. You should take lessons. And by the way, Badabooms, I have major bones to pick with you that we're going to get into today. Major issues that we got to get into. But before that, I wanted to discuss this topic that producer James Ward came up with. And it was, who needs a championship in New York more? Is it Aaron Judge or Juan Soto? And I think it's a fascinating discussion. And I'm going to try to have it by myself. I mean, we'll get Badabooms involved, but you know what I mean. So obviously, it's a good question because you can make an argument for either side. But I think the easier thing to think about is, well, it's Aaron Judge because Judge is older. He's been closer to the World Series with the Mets. We know Soto won one, but not with the Mets. I'm talking about in New York, so forget that for a second. Judge, being a Yankee and a great Yankee, needs to complete his legacy by winning a World Series, even if it's just one. Like, he's not going to need multiple like Jeter or Mo or Pettit or Bernie. He just needs at least one to have that ring and then say, okay, well, he was the A-Rod, whoever. He was the all-time greatest Yankee, in our generation, certainly. He's the best player that I've ever seen. I'm not going to say he's better than DiMaggio or Mantle or Ruth or Gehrig, all those guys. And maybe not even Jeter, but just physically, he's such a dominant player. So it's different to compare him with Jeter. But bottom line is, if you're a New York Yankee, you need that World Series ring to be considered a great Yankee. It's the one thing that's missing from him. He's got the home run records. He's got the MVPs. He's now had success in the postseason, where you've seen it last year, even the year before that with some big moments. Aaron Judge definitively needs a ring. However, I will make the argument that it's more imperative that Juan Soto, who was paid a ridiculous amount of money. Like, let's get out of the Yankee bubble for a second when we're comparing these two. And that's why, again, I think it's a fun conversation. You can make legitimate cases for each side. But forget the Yankee bubble and how they're held to the highest standard, and it's the one thing missing for Aaron Judge. Soto was paid a ridiculous amount of money to come to the Mets, to leave the Yankees to come to the Mets. We know that. Ridiculous. Richest contract in sports. Juan Soto already has been a world champion somewhere else. Juan Soto was brought to the Mets to try to end a 40-year freaking drought. This is not 2009, which feels like a long time from the Yankees' perspective. This is 1986. It's 40 years ago. You know how long? It's a lifetime. A lifetime. And that's what Juan Soto's here for. And Juan Soto has been as dominant a player as we've seen since he burst into the league. Look at what he did in 2019 as a young kid in the postseason to help the Nationals go win a World Series. Look at the numbers that he's put up consistently since then. Whether it's New York, whether it's San Diego, it doesn't matter. First year with the Yankees, beast of a season. First year with the Mets, a historic season from a Mets perspective. Even in a quote-unquote down year, which many of us refer to it as a down year for Juan Soto, he still put up beastly numbers. The guy is just as dominant as you can possibly be. He talks about going after Ohtani, trying to win an MVP. Great. He may be the first Met ever to win an MVP. He should be for what they paid him. That should be the goal. Win MVPs, win World Series. So I don't think it's just as easy as, well, Judge is a Yankee, so we hold them to a higher standard. Well, no. Maybe that is true. But when Steve Cohen took over the Mets, the level of standard and expectation was raised significantly. In my mind, it's what it should always be. If you're a fan of a team, you always have the highest expectations. I'm not saying, is this in Pittsburgh or Kansas City? I'm not settling for, or St. Louis. Hey, good try. Hey, good try, guys. Get him next year. Hey, 80 wins, 82 wins. Hey, good try. No, that's not what this is about. It's about winning. And since Cohen took over for the Mets, The expectations were raised. The payroll was raised. The attitude, all that stuff changed. The results have not been there yet, but it's now year 2 of Juan Soto. And immediately following a very disappointing year 1 for the team as a whole, taking a step back from where they were in 2024 to where they were last year after adding the mega talent in Juan Soto, unacceptable. So what they do, they took a blowtorch to it. Make no mistake about it. Juan Soto is going to be under a tremendous amount of pressure to deliver. It shouldn't just be looked at, well, it's the Mets and it's less than. The Yankees and Judge are more important. It's more important that Judge, even though he's proven more, like Judge pound for pound versus Soto has done better things. And again, I know Soto's won a World Series, but look at the numbers, the historic numbers, the dominance that Judge is a man amongst boys at times playing a game. Where Soto's he's just a great player. Judge is one of the all-time greats ever. I know some of the Soto's numbers are saying all-time great as well. And don't get me wrong, like I love Soto, but Aaron Judge, it's not his fault that the Yankees have not won a World Series. And I know it's always going to be about him because he's the Yankee captain and leader and the great player. Well, now you just got to get that ring. Well, that expectation shouldn't be just for the Yankees. It should also be for the highest paid player in the sport, also a team in New York. Soto should be held to the same exact standards. Soto and the Mets should be held to the same exact standards that the mighty New York Yankees are. That's what the difference should be with the Mets organization after Steve Cohen and after getting Juan Soto. No more, well, it's the Mets and they're the B team in town and they haven't won in 40 years. So what's the difference if they don't win in another 45 or 50 years? No, that's all changed. So I will make the argument that while I understand the importance of Aaron Judge ending the Yankees drought since 2009. I mean, so far back, I can barely remember what I was doing in 2009. How dare they? It's not just about Judge ending that drought or cementing his legacy needing a ring, which really you don't need because it is overrated. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, but what, because Sam Darnold won a Super Bowl now, is he one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever live? He's not. We all know the truth. So Dan Marino doesn't have a ring, and he's still a billion times better than Sam Darnold. So it's a narrative that we like to talk about in sports talk, need to fill a topic. Okay, we value the championships more than everything. If Aaron Judge doesn't win a ring, it's going to be disappointing because the Yankees are held to such a ridiculously high standard, and because the dynasty that preceded him, it didn't do him any favors. If this were Don Mattingly's looked at a great Yankee, and a lot of people, instead of saying, well, Mattingly wasn't good enough because he didn't win a ring, it's more, oh, we feel bad for Donnie that he didn't get to experience the championship. Well, why is that? That's because he came pre the recent dynasty, Mattingly. And they were years removed from when the Yankees were the great Yankee dynasty. We're not talking about, the Ruth Gehrig and Mantle years, way before Mattingly. It was a down period in there. So Mattingly came, and then it was the sole individual that was great. Oh, we feel bad Donnie didn't get one. And then yet with Judge, it's not, oh, we feel bad Judge, he didn't get one. It's Judge better deliver one. Judge's greatness is not going to change one way or another. Juan Soto needs to deliver it. He was brought here to win a World Series for the Mets. He's brought here to help end the freaking drought. At some point, we got to, as much as I love 1986, at some point, we got to stop. 40 years, I mean, it was a 6-year-old kid. So I would say that it's more important for the guy that was brought here to the Mets on the richest contract in the history of sport, for a guy who's already won a World Series elsewhere, to try to end a 40-year drought. I think it's more imperative that happens than it is that Judge adds another ring to the Yankee mighty legacy, just so we could say, well, now he belongs with all the other great Yankees outside of Don Mattingly who have won a World Series. If Judge ends up as Mattingly, that's okay. Obviously, we don't want that to be the case from a Yankee fan perspective. You want to see him win, but it's not the worst thing in the world when you put up the numbers that Judge did, when you make the postseason as many times as you've seen Judge do, when he performs in the postseason. Not his fault. Maybe it's more a detriment to the Yankees and the way that they've operated here, not Judge. Soto has to deliver. Badabooms, you want to chime in on that? Hey, good to see you. We got a major bone to pick with you in a second.
Yeah, we'll get there in a second. This is a phenomenal topic, by the way. Phenomenal topic. I want you to just reframe it for me real quick, because we're talking about answering the question. Reframe it. Is it a matter of legacy-wise or as an overall standpoint in the landscape of baseball?
No, forget baseball. We're talking New York. So forget overall baseball.
Okay.
We're talking New York. Who do you think is either under more pressure or needs to deliver a championship more to New York, Judge or Soto?
The
You
answer,
can take it however you want.
For the way you just presented it, the answer is Soto, because of what you just said, and he was paid. Now, if you spin it just a little bit, I can see how this can get confusing. People are going to get confused, and it's got to be Judge. It's got to be Judge.
Well, you could take it any way you want. Take it any way you want.
I'll take it in the sense of first what you said. For what they brought Soto in to do, for who he is, for what they paid him for, Soto has to. For their careers and their legacy, there's no doubt Aaron Judge, it's more important for him. Soto's already won the world championship, and he was, 20 years old, 21 years old?
19, I think.
Soto's just got, really what he has to do for his legacy now is just not prove that it was the wrong decision to give him all the bag, to give him all this money. Aaron Judge is going to go down, if this doesn't happen, I hope that's not the case, as, well, he was great in the regular season. He was great for the Yankees when it didn't matter. I'm not talking about last year. Last year he had 500. Last year he was Aaron Judge in the playoffs. For his legacy and how he's remembered in New York, Aaron Judge has to win more.
Why did our clips change from yesterday? Like I was posting these clips, and I know you do a good job with this stuff, and you build up the clips, and then I'm looking at it yesterday, and I get a clip to post, and I'm like, whoa, it's jarring here. It's me closer up, which I don't love, and then it's completely naked, which is not, I'm saying, a bad thing. I'm just asking what's going on here with the changing of the clips. So drastic from one built up fancy clip, Sal Licata Show, this different headline and different looks with the players underneath, to just me sitting there in my Surfside jacket talking about sports. What happened there?
It was a good jacket, by the way. Oh, I got some information by some trusted members of the industry, and I wanted to try it out. I want to see if that works. If not, we'll go back.
Just drastic like that, like you can't ease in. And how do you, like, it takes time to see which one's more effective?
Yeah, I'll do a little test period, and we'll see. Maybe tell me what the people like. That would be a good thing for people to say down below. Which clips do you like more? Do you like the ones that are dolled up, or do you like the ones that are naked?
Right, but even that, like, okay, we're not going to take the 5 people who are going to comment on that and just make it be gospel. Don't you trust yourself ultimately? I mean, and part of why I hired you was because you told me you knew what you were doing. You're a student of the game. Not only do you want to be on the air, you like looking at the analytics and building up the graphics and all those different things. Why wouldn't you trust yourself then? Who cares? Like, you should take information from other people giving you advice, but to a point where you're going to completely change the entire look that you built over the course of 2 months. You're going to change it for one day after one conversation?
I think that for the audience and the people who watch, my style is, if you already know what we're doing, I think it's perfect. The overproduction, it shows that there's a care, there's a level of, effort that goes into it. Now, the thing is, Sal, I don't know if you know this, we're still trying to grow this thing. And in some mindsets, people see all that going on and it's too much for them to look at. And if they don't already know what they're looking at, it could turn them off a little bit. So that's the information I received, and that's what I'm trying to apply.
All right, fine. I just wanted to bring it up because we're learning, and we don't need to get too much into detail.
And you said student of the game. Student of the game.
I think so,
The key thing about being a student is learning and applying the information you learn.
Did you do that in school? Were you a good student?
No, I barely graduated.
Did you just not care? Because, like, my thing was, I could do it, but I really don't care about it. Like, I was more writing Knicks lineups and Falcons lineups and all those different things. Like,
I was doing something sports related, I'll tell you that.
What were you doing?
Something sports related.
Well, I don't understand. What does that mean? Like, you're nodding and smiling. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's how it started with the
notepad. A lot of days with the notepad.
That's how it started for me in school. Back in my day, 30 freaking years ago, like in high school, Connecticut High School, I remember my buddy Eric Henn coming in with these little white, they're called parlay tickets or football tickets, and it was the greatest thing ever. On a Thursday or a Friday, he'd come in with those tickets, and you get set for the weekend. I guess he'd probably come in with on Wednesday or Thursday, and then we hand it in by Friday, and you used to have to circle the number for either the college football team,
that's the old school parlay
or
tickets.
Side, and then you'd rip off the bottom, and I'd go like a 16 parlay, and you turn over the back, and it's like 6 for 6, pays so much, whatever the odds were, 15-1 or 20-1. I freaking love that. And then I had that little white ticket all weekend long, checking the score bug on the bottom if it were college or the NFL, which it wasn't Sunday tickets, so you didn't have all the games available. I was watching whatever local games were on, and then following along with the scores on ESPN and all that. Oh, man, that brings me back. So that's when it started for you too, high school?
No, it started before high school.
Junior high?
Yeah, it started before high school.
Now it's different for you, but it still wasn't legal, even though you're more like
That's
you were in
why
high school. Like
I
what?
didn't know about how deep into detail I can go there and my experiences doing that in
Right.
school. But let's just say I was one with the
I get it. And look, and look where it led us. Who's the sucker now?
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
No, it literally did let me right here. That's another story for another time. But can I just touch on something you said real quick?
What?
I couldn't imagine life before Sunday Ticket. I couldn't imagine it.
It is, oh, dude. You know what I used to do? I was working at King Cullen, and I used to supermarket.
King Cullen?
King Cullen. Yeah,
it sounded like you said King Cullen. I'm not gonna lie.
It was destiny. Now that I think about it, I was working at the supermarket on Long Island called King Cullen. They used to have, I think there's still a bunch of them around there. And I would go to during a break or whenever I had some downtime. I was working like the cash register or the front end, whatever. I would go to the payphone and call Sports Phone to get the scores. All right, everybody. You call in whatever beep, beep, beep it is, 50 cents or whatever it was, and then maybe going through the scores. And the Falcons lead the Panthers right now, 17-3, late third quarter. Like that, think about how antiquated that sounds. It sounds like it was in the 1920s. That's how, this was 1990s. That's how I would find out the score. Now you obviously just go to your phone. You could watch, not only do I get the score on my phone, I could watch the Falcon game or whatever game on your phone. Back then I used to have to call Sports Phone to, like this to you was foreign as a 20. You used to have to go take a break every 15 minutes, call and find out what the score was. Yeah, that's how it happened back then.
Did you have those like, I don't know, don't clown me if I don't know the right thing. I've actually heard my great King Evan Roberts say this before, and that's why I'm referencing this. Those little pagers that were just for sports scores.
No, I never had. I had a beeper. Like, is that what you're talking about? The pager, a beeper. You used to have a beeper that I.
What are you pushing something with the beeper?
No. I would like beeper. I guess it was called beep back then. Like you know, your girlfriend 143 was I love you. 133 was I miss you. I don't know how they come up with these numbers, but that's what it was. How stupid! Think how stupid it is to have a beeper, and you'd have to pay to keep that service. What was the point of a beeper? I mean, I guess that must have been. Could that have been pre-cell phone? I mean, I don't even remember how the beeper worked. I remember having one. You don't even remember what that is.
No, I do know what it is though. It's the same thing as I just said what it's called. Where like if you're
you said like, a pager or a sports thing. No, I never had that.
Are pagers and beepers not the same thing?
I think they are the same thing, but I remember it being referred to as a beeper. And I guess could you have had a? Oh, I know what it is. You would be able to beep some. So this is pre-cell phone. You could beep somebody from a landline. Do you know what a landline is? Now we're really going back. Okay. So I would pick up the phone at my mom's house, and then I would dial the beeper number and send the message to the beeper. And then my girlfriend, let's say, or vice versa, and then she would get the beep, or I would get the beep from her. And then that was it. And so you use the beeper as a way to connect through the landline. And then once cell phones became a thing, then the beeper, went the way of the dinosaur, I guess, extinct.
What were you doing in the back rooms at Home Depot? You referenced that the other day.
I've got some wild stories. No. Home Depot, King Cullen, wild stories.
You were laying it down at work?
I was what?
You were laying it down at work?
Nah, not in the building, in the parking lot.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
One time.
When you were a fatty?
Yeah, it didn't matter. Wow. I always said this. I had more action when I was overweight and employed at both Depot than I did when I was on TV and in better shape.
Well, because were you not married?
No. I didn't get married until I was on TV for 5 years before I got engaged, I think. 5 or 6 years. And I was single living in the city. It's not that I didn't have any action. It's just that you have to remember, being at Home Depot or King Cullen, you're surrounded by, women. So you're naturally put in that spot where you're going to have conversations. It wasn't like in the city, you have to go out and meet people or how are you going to date or whatever. This is a little pre-app.
All the women that come to Home Depot, brother.
No, not come in, work there. I was working. I'm working on the front end. I worked as a cashier with all the women there. It was a gold mine. So there were multiple.
I like that you were representing the fatties back in the day. I like that a lot. It makes me happy.
Yeah, and it's about personality anyway. It's not just about
it's true.
physical appearance. But
you can look like Tarzan and talk like Jane. It's not going to get you anywhere.
Did you ever have a job outside of what you do now? I know I'm talking about this. Obviously, I'm talking about your regular job. Because you're only 22, so you're only how many years removed from high school?
4.
Okay, and you didn't go to college at all?
No.
Okay, so
I mean,
did you
I don't
ever
want to like bore you with the Badabooms backstory. I can give you a little bit of rundown.
No, I don't need the whole backstory. And the girl that you're dating now is the first girl that like is your first girlfriend?
Like seriously, yeah. Like,
yeah. I mean, okay, you're 22, so you still got ways to go. Like for me, when I was younger, I didn't date a ton of girls until I started working probably at King Cullen or Home Depot and meeting different girls. But yeah, I mean, there was this one time where, maybe we should save this for story time with Sal. What do you think? Do I got to get into this?
Let's save it for story time.
Let's save
also, might need to vet it because if I think it's like cringe, if it's cringy.
I told BT he liked it, of course. It was off the air once. All right, so I'm not going to get into that. You come on, why are you distracting me? I have a plan here, and I'm trying to rip you apart for yesterday. So, okay, you changed the look of the eclipse, whatever, not a big deal. Here's what we got to take accountability. If we hold players and athletes accountable on the show, then we have to hold each other accountable. Yes, and I thought yesterday's 6 with Sal sucked. I didn't think you were into it. I didn't think you cared about it. Now, if you want to say the topic wasn't good on my part, I thought it would be fun. Draft the baseball movies. I thought we'd get into it. You were not passionate about it. You were not competitive with it. And it didn't seem like you cared about it. And I'm not saying that I was perfect with it, but I was not feeling your energy. And I thought the whole segment sucked.
Yeah, I'm also trying. The whole segment sucked. I'm also trying to figure out where and where not to be Badabooms, if that makes sense. Like I should have been more
Badabooms and let it rip.
Yes, but you're right. You're right. I am. I'm always myself for the most part, and I should have been more. I was trying to follow the format. Like when you picked Fever Pitch 1, I should have destroyed you. I should have.
Well, why didn't you? I love that movie, and I only picked it 1 because you took Major League. So what was I supposed to do? I mean, like
Fever Pitch.
I love.
I like the movie too, but Fever Pitch. Come on.
Okay, well, what would you have taken above it? See, and maybe this would have been helpful yesterday during the segment.
Dude, I would have took 42 over Fever Pitch. Come on.
Yeah, I don't think 42 is that good. I mean, I liked it, but I liked Fever Pitch more. I was thinking about rewatchable. I mean, however you have in your mind what movie you'd want to take. Mm-hmm. Like in my mind, the movie that I loved watching Fever Pitch. I could watch that movie 1,000,000 times over and I haven't seen it in years. But if it's on TV, I was compared to, speaking of girls and dating, I was compared to Jimmy Fallon in Fever Pitch once by one of my ex-girlfriend's fathers. Because his daughter was a Yankee fan and I was a dire Met fan. And I just she would not respect my Met fandom. And at that point, I was such a nut job fan that I would not tolerate anything other than my love for and appreciation and respect for my Met fandom. So it led to some issues. And then her father would call me he's like, you're like the guy from Fever Pitch. And I was like, yeah, I am. I am, as a matter of fact. So what? That's how much I love sports. Anyway, if that movie, I haven't seen that movie in years.
Goofball. I thought maybe he was calling you a goofball or something like
probably. No, not like Jimmy Fallon, but a goofball for loving sports that much and prioritizing sports and having that mean that much. This is going back to 2007. So I mean, at that end, I was still at my peak. Anyway, what the hell was my point about this? Yeah, I love that movie. I think the movie's great. So you don't like it? Okay, then move on. You could have
liked the movie. I just think in the annals of baseball movies, that's the. What?
No, that's the what? That's the finish the sentence. That's the what?
That's your first pick.
I like it better. Yeah, I like it better than Field of Dreams.
See, I should have done this yesterday, so I see what you're saying. Bad job.
The segment sucked. So it did. Learning lesson.
I also think we need to get an audience incorporation into picking the segment, like not segment, excuse me, picking the topic for 6 with Sal, because I want something that people are going to care about, and if somebody we get some ideas down below. Get them in the. We got to do a better
how about you
job,
come up with
and
ideas?
This is on me too, of incorporating the audience into this.
Maybe, but I have a lot of ideas. Now, if you don't think that they're good, then you should come up with some of your own. And
if you thought that was bad, just imagine how bad the other one would have been that you requested for 2 weeks ago.
We were gonna do Vol movies because he when he passed away, I was like, oh, why don't we do that? You didn't want to do that, and
I was gonna pick all the Godfather movies.
Well, I'm also trying to. Could be topical, and if we do it once a week, that means it's 52.
We should have done Eminem yesterday. See, I was saying Eminem.
No, don't say that. Don't give away.
They don't know what I'm talking. They don't know what I'm talking about.
But there's
talking about rappers.
We'll do it. But okay, so you were into that. Point is, you should have never let it. If you didn't like the topic and you weren't into it, you shouldn't have let it air.
It's not that I wasn't into it though, because off rip, I thought this could be a good topic. But then as we got in, I think there's just too many baseball movies where it's like.
But that's what makes it fun. You have to draft and have your top 3. What do you mean? And then you can criticize it. Like the perfect thing would have been for you to criticize me for Fever Pitch. I didn't even know you didn't like it.
So yeah, I take it on the chin. Bad job by me.
Yeah, learn from it. All right, now I'll get back to you here in a second. I got a couple other things I want to get to.
Get hit and keep moving forward.
That's right. Okay, so we talked about Duvall passing away. Well, a couple of days ago, I don't know if you saw this, but Lou Holtz died. R.I.P. Lou Holtz. Now, I love Lou Holtz. I knew him more as a broadcaster, not as much as a coach, but obviously I know the history and all-time great coach and all this stuff. And R.I.P. to Lou Holtz. He was 89. I think, and it's not about Lou Holtz, but like when we're talking about deaths of people, Duvall, Holtz, like these guys are, I think if you make it to 80, I don't think it should be a sad thing. That's 89, it should be celebrated. Holy crap, what a life you had, as opposed to like, oh, dear Lord, rest in peace. This is a terribly sad day, and everybody in the sports world is a really sad day for the sports world. No, like 80 and beyond, celebrate. Anything prior to that, I mean, even like mid to late 70s, like, okay, she passed away, she was 76 years old. All right, 76, good job. That's a good job. Man, anything before 70, I think, is bad. And then that's sad and tragic. And maybe it depends on how it happens. But certainly when you're talking 80s and beyond, I think we're beyond the point of making it an overly sad thing. Like, there's got to be a cutoff somewhere where you could be like, oh, that's okay, R.I.P. Wow, I used to love that person for what they did. Or, he was a great actor, or he was a great coach, or this or that, or she was a great actress. But I think once you get into the 80s, it's like, come on. What do you think happens? Like, well, oh, terribly sad. So-and-so passed away at the age of 85. Is it sad or is it reality? I mean, to me, it's kind of reality. If you're fortunate to make it that long, like if you're in your 80s or 70s, late 70s, you got to be thinking, time's getting close here. Like, the window is running out. And for me, I always think like, oh God, I don't know, I mean, because my grandfather died at like 68, my father at 65. I think like I got probably 20 years left. So my window in my mind is already shortened. Now, who knows? I mean, it could be tomorrow. You have no idea. And I know sometimes these things are awkward to talk about, but when I see somebody that passes away at 80 and then or above 89, and then I see the reaction, it's like, oh, what a terribly sad day. And how am I going to get, I'm like, come on, guys. Like, yeah, all right. R.I.P. But really, it should be, wow, what a great life, dude. You made it to 89. That's unbelievable. It should be celebrated, a happy thing. Death can be happy if you die in your 80s. The overly sad stuff and with those ages. She was 95. 95? Shit, that's a pretty good life. Good God, like you should be looking at the other way, not, terribly sad. Speaking of sad, I can't let go of vacation. Like, I was on vacation a week ago, and then every day since, I look back to where we were a week ago. So like on Wednesday, it's like, oh, and I tell my wife this, and she's like, yeah, I can believe it's been a week already. I'm like, I can't believe it's been a week since we were in the pool and then the water park. Remember the restaurant we went to dinner with? We went to dinner in Sammy. We had so much fun. Remember that? Like just a week ago. Do you believe that? Yeah, I believe it. Move on. For some reason, Badabooms, I have a hard time letting go. And it's like processing time. You build up all this time anticipating going on vacation. Then the vacation happens. And it didn't feel like it went fast for me. It felt like a normal, nice vacation. It was a week-long vacation. It felt good. But then it's like, here I am. We're already recording this on Friday. And a week ago at this time, I was like, oh, man, we only got 2 more days left of the vacation. Like mentally, am I in the wrong spot there? I feel like I know how to properly process a death in the 80s, but I don't know how to process vacation when I come back from it. You know what I'm saying?
I know that was a good one. You popped me for that. No, the quick thing on Lou Holtz, it reminded me of Phil Leotardo after they killed his brother Billy, and he's in the bar. He's like 47. He was a fucking kid. Like
47 is a kid. Yeah. I mean, not for you.
I know, but just the 89. Also, he was a fucking kid.
Also, you did it again. Like, it's a good line that you gave. I moved on and was talking about something else.
No, you just brought it up again, though, processing the death of an 80-year-old. So that's why I wasn't going to do it if you didn't say that.
Okay, the vacation stuff?
47. That's your brother Billy, whatever happened there. That's one of the great scenes in Sopranos.
You want to move on to the vacation thoughts, or you don't have any on that?
Yeah, it was a week ago. Get over it. It was all good just a week ago. You know that one?
couple more things here before we wrap this podcast up.
That was a low and away slider. There's nothing for me to hit there, so I just.
Well, you could rip me for my thought process on it, or you could say that you think similar. Like you don't.
I do look back on things and go, wow, like that was a week. Like the Super Bowl. Like the Super Bowl was a month ago.
Have you ever been on vacation?
Yeah, I'm going on a great vacation next week, Sal.
Oh God, the spring training trip with you. I don't know.
Oh God, why are you godding?
That's not vacation. That is a work trip, my friend. And we're gonna have to get up early.
That's an escape from reality, from what I do on my day-to-day basis.
You're officially a member of the media. How about that?
I don't know why they let me in, but they're gonna.
Me neither. I didn't know it was gonna be that easy. But you are my podcast producer, and we are going to both Mets and Yankees. I've never done this before. I've done Mets, I've never done Yankees, and I've never done Mets and Yankees together. Looking forward to that, seeing what type of content we could get while we're down there. And yes, of course, it's gonna be. Dude, the other thing is I made the mistake, not the mistake, but I booked the early flights because we kind of have to get there early. I didn't want to do it during the week because neither of us could miss work that much. So we first thing Saturday morning, like 7 a.m. flight, see ya, right down to Tampa. But 7 a.m. flight means what time wake up? Like you got to wake up at 4 o'clock for that, no?
You know what I'm really hoping to see on our early ventures in the morning? What'll really cheer me up and get me going?
What?
The Mountie.
Where will you get what is wrong with you? You're all over the place. Can you stay on topic? We're in the middle of a good thing here, and you're talking about the Mountie. Why?
I like traveling early. I think it's better to travel early. Get out of the way.
So what time do you have to get up for a 7 a.m. flight?
There will be no sleep.
That's what I'm talking about. That's an early.
There's no sleep.
That's an early ass wake up, and then the same thing coming back. Plus the drives from Tampa to Port St. Lucie to West Palm. This is not a vacation, my friend. This is a work trip. This is going to be nonstop. Like even I'm like, oh God, did we bite off more than we could chew here? Nonstop from when we get up in the morning to the airport, to the flight, get the rent-a-car right to the ballpark for the Yankees, hang out at the ballpark, do what we got to do, then drive to Port St. Lucie that night. Like, this is nonstop. Wake up, go to the ballpark, stay at the game, possibly have something to do afterward, then early morning and right back. So it's going to be a whirlwind. And that's one I'm not going to be looking back on being like, oh, you know what? A week ago at this time, I'm going to be like, I'm glad we did that and it was a good experience. Let's move on. Unlike the Bahamas where I'm like, oh, I miss the dinner and the restaurants and the pool and the beach and the water park.
It's funny that you're fantasizing the Bahamas now, and now like I feel like in the moment you're like, this is an unmitigated disaster, bro. It's too bougie. It's because
I'm never happy. When I'm here, I want to be there. When I'm there, I want to be here, or it's not good enough. It's the mind that I have that is the problem. That's the issue. So it's without my wife and my daughter, if I go, I'd probably miss them. I go with them and it's like, oh, I wonder what this would be like if I were with my friends. If I go to the Bahamas, I'm like, oh, Aruba is better. If I'm in Aruba, it's, oh, why not the Bahamas? If I'm out there and it's 70, it's like, man, it's really hot out here. But and I wish, maybe it was a little cooler. And then I'm here and it's like, it's snowing. I wish I was in. I'm never happy. That's the problem. There, here. Yeah, I'm never happy. Well, no, it's not like a Jeff fan because that's just total misery. But ultimately, I think that's what it comes down to. Did you see two more things for you? Did you see Myles Garrett got another speeding ticket? 9th speeding. You probably didn't see this because Badabooms. I mean, you just don't pay attention.
I actually did see this one.
Okay, 9 speeding tickets since 2017. I think like that's a little bit of an issue. No, he might have a problem. You ever get a speeding ticket in your life?
Not a speeding ticket, but I have gotten a ticket before.
For what?
It was for not having my lights on when the sun was like lowly set. It was odd. It was an odd thing. Like the dude pulled me over and he's like, "It's dark outside, right?" And I'm like, the sun's like just setting." He's like, "Why didn't you have your lights on?" I'm like, "Oh, the sun's still setting. Like it's."
And he gave you a ticket for that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've definitely gotten hit with a couple of speeding tickets, but
I'm a serial parking ticket offender, though. I'll tell you that. Those parking tickets. Oof.
In the city or just where? In Connecticut?
In Connecticut, yeah. I'm close to Stamford, so we go to Stamford a lot for dinner, and like there's stuff to do compared to where I am. And just an awful place to park. Those Stamford, Connecticut. You ever try to park there?
No.
Oh, it's awful.
Okay, last thing here, and then we'll wrap up this week. Solid week, Badabooms. Really good job. So I'm pretty sure that Seinfeld does not like me. And
please tell me more.
And it hurts my feelings to think that's the case. So let's just talk this out. And this is not an egotistical thing. It's just a reality thing. Jerry Seinfeld's a big Mets fan, right? He's a big sports fan, listens to WFAN. Do you think, and I'm asking you this, Badabooms, do you think Seinfeld at least has an idea of who I am?
He must. He must. He
okay,
must.
So that's what I'm thinking too. He must, right? He has to. And, he's called up the fan at certain times. And by the way, I met him many years ago when I was producing. Oh, no, actually, I think I was still an intern. He came in for Steve Summers in studio back in the old studio.
Back in the day.
Yeah. Back in the old studios in Astoria, he came in studio. Mike and the Mad Dog were still there. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I was interning, or maybe I was just behind the scenes cutting tape. I was not producing the show, but he went around the newsroom and shook everybody's hand, looked him in the eye, including, I was like, oh my God, Jerry Seinfeld. So he could not be nicer. Nice guy. But this was going back many years ago. He may know who I am. He's got to at least watch SNY. I'm sure he heard of me at the very least on the fan. And then I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were telling me how Seinfeld, I'm not going to mention who it is, but they were telling somebody in the business, they were mentioning to me how Seinfeld follows them on Instagram, and that it led to a conversation. And then the publicist, they said, oh, yeah, Seinfeld's like, oh, yeah, I'd love to come on the show. Let me know about here's my publicist, whatever. And then I was like, oh, well, that's interesting that he follows them. And then I started going to look at Seinfeld to see who he followed. And then I noticed he followed somebody else that works at the fan, one Tom Lugauer. And I was thinking to myself, okay, enough's enough. Because he followed this other person that I was talking to that I'm not going to mention. And then I was looking to see who he was following, and he follows Loogie on there, and the fan, and Loogie. SNY. Yeah. And no Sal Licata. And it makes me think that he might not like me. And this is not, I'm not trying to be like, whoa, he should be following me and he should like me. What I'm being honest with you with my feelings on this. It hurts my feelings that somebody who I love so much and love the entertainment of watching his show so much, Seinfeld, and going to see him perform comedies and all that stuff, his stand-up, all that, it hurts me. It doesn't even bother me. It hurts me that he might not be a fan of mine. Because we agree he has to at least know of me, whether it be
he knows
TV.
who you are.
Okay.
He knows who you are.
And then he's not a fan. But that hurts me, I think, a little bit. Instead of me being angry and screw him and what am I doing wrong? How can he not like me? Like the Seinfeld, how can anybody not like me? I know some people don't like me, but whatever. Seinfeld? Like, am I too much for him? Huh?
What?
You didn't like me? No, I know. Okay, that's fine.
No, I'm just busting him.
But no, it's okay. Is Seinfeld one of? But that's what I'm saying. So then now, if you don't like me, I don't care. If he doesn't like me, now I feel like what did I do wrong? What did I say wrong? That I'm just a sports fan like he is. All right, maybe a little more passionate, a little more nutty, sure. But you're following Loogie? Loogie. That's what you like? I mean, that's what he likes more than me?
He likes the positivity. What can you say? I don't think that you're like a world collapsing. You're not like a Beningo level Met fan where everything's.
I'm not. I'm realistic. Does he not like the truth? And my point is, whatever it is, I'm not mad at him. I am just more than when somebody of that level, I feel like, would know who I am. And I really never gave this much thought. But then when I hear other people that are closely connected to me start having that type of connection with him, it makes me think, well, geez, I'm on TV all the time. I was at the fan for a long time in a prominent spot, obviously, with the middays. Like, what? Now, BT probably has a little part in this because he can't stand Seinfeld, and it drives me nuts when we used to have these conversations.
Why can't he stand him?
He's like, Seinfeld's not that funny. I'm like, what are you talking about? Seinfeld's great. But I don't know. I can't blame BT for this. I got to take accountability because it's just me. But when I see it, it makes me start to question myself. That's why I bring this up. What are you doing? Looking at your hair there?
No. I didn't know if there's something in it or whatever. It was just for production level. It's an interesting point. You got to stop, dude. You have to stop. You have to stop.
You're looking at yourself, like checking yourself out. All right,
I'm going to lose it. Stop. We got to get an answer to this. I think now it's been presented. We need it, and we need an answer.
I think we know the answer. He's not a fan. He doesn't like me. He doesn't like my work, which is okay.
I've always wondered this when I listen to Jerry. Wait, keep this. Don't drop this right now. Play the game with me. Whenever he calls into the fan in recent memory, it seems as if he's not, all in tune with the host, who they are, what they do, what their subject matter is. Now, every now and then he'll know you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
He'll get like
he called the last time he called in, he didn't even know. Yeah, but it wasn't McMonagle who said something. It was Paul Rosenberg, the producer
Yes.
behind the scenes. So yes, I understand that. So I think he listens and probably doesn't know. And I think a lot of people do that, by the way. Some of the hosts are so full of themselves that they think like everybody, the people at the fan especially, oh, everybody in the world must know who I am. No, well, it's not like that. So I was aware enough to understand that even being on the midday, people don't know who the hell you are. They'll get you mixed up with Carton or BT or all the other bald guys or think you're McMonagle, whatever it may be. That happens quite often. So Seinfeld probably cares, but not cares enough. But he does care enough to follow the person that I was talking to and Loogie. And I'm also on SNY. Like there, like
the
every night.
SNY thing is that's what's a little bit jarring and why this may be the telltale that he doesn't like you.
Yeah.
Because
so then my question is, he probably is not a fan, right? We would agree that he probably knows who I am, which makes me feel
that's the first part. He's not a fan.
Yeah. He probably knows who I am, which makes me feel good. He's probably not a fan, which hurts me a little bit. And then I want to know as to why. So is there anything I could do to fix it? Because I feel like if he met me, he'd like me. I feel like that would be the case. We'd get along at least a little bit. And I'm not saying we're going to be best friends. I'm not, asking for that. I don't like walking around knowing that Jerry Seinfeld, somebody who I like and respect and look up to and love, that he doesn't like me. I can't live with that. I'm sorry. That bothers me.
You're very reminiscent of the character, at least. I can't speak on Jerry the person. But like the character of Jerry Seinfeld,
a lot of what I watched, comes from him. I mean,
and your tone and inflection, like I always assumed that's what it was.
It is. Like, I'm sure it's a part of that. I love.
Like you're doing it right now. Like
I know.
Am I talking to Jerry?
Okay, Jerry, don't like me. Yeah,
I could be Costanza. Jerry.
So
shrinkage, Jerry. Shrinkage.
So if you had to pick one reason for why Seinfeld wouldn't like me or be a fan, what do you think that it is?
I think
you could be honest.
Probably the boldness and the brashness. Now, not as brash as you are bold, but how you kind of like when it comes to the Met stuff. You sometimes you're a glazer, you're a serial glazer, but sometimes you are very like you'll speak the truth on things.
Okay, that's my job. I got to give my opinion.
I'm complimenting you. I'm saying you do a good job. Some people with their teams, they don't like that. You got to be 100% having the same mentality they do, or it's like, dude, you hate my team. Can I stay in the same circle with you and just touch one more thing on celebrities, Met fans?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I asked you this off the air, and I've always wanted to. Remember when Kevin James called in?
How could I forget? It was tremendous. Yeah, I didn't believe it was really him.
I think I was listening that night when you were I wasn't listening in the moment, but I was listening when you were talking about it, and then I saw the clip. How could you rip Kevin James?
Because he's not a real Met fan. So I ripped him.
No, he is. He is a real Met fan. He's
not like what I was saying is not like to the level of like your level of Jet fandom, my level, the way that it used to be as Met fan, like. And even now, I'd still put my Met fandom up against his. He's a celebrity Mets fan. There's different layers to it. You or I were obsessed with those type things. Not being able to sleep for a week after a bad loss for your football team. I remember the feeling. Baseball team, same thing, wearing it night in, night out.
What year is it? 26?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers tore his ACL 3 years ago, and I still reference it every day. I still mention it every single day, and I will until I die.
So I don't think Kevin James, all I was saying, and by the way, I was just doing a radio thing. This was when I was in the minors at WOR. I was doing a radio bit. I wasn't making it that, like I brought up like, yeah, okay, he takes batting practice. He's a big Met fan when he has something to promote. He's not going to all these games the way that you or I would go to these games. That's all it was. It was just
I didn't get that part.
It wasn't that he's not a Met fan. It was I was questioning his level of passionate fandom to a point where I guess somebody was listening that knew him and told him these guys are trashing you on the radio, and really it was me. And he called in. The producer's like, guys, in our ear. Guys, Kevin James on the line. I'm like, get that. Kevin James, he's not calling in. And it really was him. And he goes on and right into a promo on me for a straight minute. Blah, 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 blah. And then he tags it. And that's why you're not on the fan, because we were on OR. That was his closing line.
It works now too.
Yeah, well, I know it didn't for a good 6-7 years, but now it's now it works. Anyway, so that's what happened 67? With Kevin James. They actually asked him. He was at a game, I think later that year, and they asked him about it. Steve Gelbs was doing an in-game interview with him and asked him. It was great. They referenced me or whatever. That was a cool moment for me. And I'd like to talk to Kevin James now. We could be buddies. KJ, I like him too. But I still stand by what I think he's a Met fan. And it's okay. If I were him, I wouldn't be either. I'm me, and I'm not as much as I was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. If I were him making millions, making movies, I wouldn't be breaking down every single Met game either. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
I just took a little bit of offense the first time I ever heard that because as a Jet fan and a fatty, Kevin James is like one of those guys to me where I look up and I'm like, oh my god, like he's on King of Queens with Leah Remini and
Leo Rahimi,
this is
isn't
bad. Leah Remini, Stiller's dad, rest in peace. What's Stiller's dad's name? This is bad.
Jerry Stiller.
Jerry Stiller, yeah. That's one of my favorite shows of all time. I gotta give him pride. He was wearing the Jet stuff in the show, like he was being a representative
I get it.
of the large community and the Jet community.
Okay, so you're kissing a Kevin James ass. Good for you. You'd be like Loogie now. You'll get a follow on social media. All right.
Have you ever heard Loogie's intro real quick? His intro song?
No.
We got to get something like that for this show. For now, it gets stuck in my head where I start singing it.
I like Loogie, but come on, Jerry. All right, that does it for this episode of the Sal Licata Show. We appreciate you guys watching and listening. Make sure to subscribe. What? What'd you say?
Ticket giveaway because you didn't mention at the beginning.
I'm going to. I'm gonna get.
My bad. Just
make sure to watch Badabooms. Make sure to subscribe, like, smash that like button. And when we get to 10,000 subscribers, we will be giving away a pair of tickets to the first Subway Series game at Citi Field that Friday night in May. So we're looking forward to that. Maybe even Badabooms and I will be there for that game. I just got to work out one detail. Next week, we'll start to shore that up as we get closer and closer. But anyway, we got ways to go before we get to 10,000 subscribers. But a special Subway Series ticket giveaway coming up on this podcast. All right. Hope you enjoyed this week. We'll catch you next week. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.